As a kid, all a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
The LA Rams going to be traveling on the road to take on the Washington football team. Now, Washington is going to be starting a new quarterback. They're going to be starting Kyle Allen, and they're going to be benching Dwayne Haskins. Now, I agree with Ron Rivera's decision to bench Dwayne Haskins, and here's why. Okay, Washington, oddly enough, despite being 1-3, has a really good chance to win their division. Okay, like nobody else in this division has more than one win. So if you're Ron Rivera, you don't have any more time to wait for Dwayne Haskins to figure things out. Because the longer you wait, this opportunity of winning your division may slip away from you. Okay? So, I mean, Ron Rivera has a sense of urgency right now. He realizes that this team is in a good position to still try to win this division. And they have a really good chance of doing so. And you don't want to jeopardize this opportunity of trying to win this division by waiting on Dwayne Haskins to come around. Because Dwayne Haskins may not ever figure it out. Or he may not figure it out until it's too late. And Washington lost his opportunity to slip away from them. So you have to change quarterbacks because you need a spark on offense. This reminds me of the Tennessee Titans when they decided to bench Marcus Mariota for Ryan Tannehill. The offense was struggling. They needed a spark. And they decided to start Ryan Tannehill, and they ended up going to the playoffs because of it. And then you also had Derrick Henry to factor in also. But, I mean, when you look at Washington, I understand Washington doesn't have a great supporting cast. I understand they have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. I understand that they don't have any offensive weapons aside from rookie halfback Antonio Gibson and wide receiver Ted McLaurin. But at the end of the day, despite that, you still may get a little bit more out of Kyle Allen than you may get out of Dwayne Haskins. And you don't have any more time to wait for Dwayne Haskins to figure things out. Because when Dwayne Haskins, if he ever does figure things out, it may be too little too late. And Washington may end up losing their opportunity to try to win this division. Dallas or Philadelphia may end up picking things up. And by the time Dwayne Haskins is playing good, Washington doesn't have a chance to win in the division. So right now, Ron Rivera feels a sense of urgency. And another thing you guys have to realize, that Ron Rivera didn't draft Dwayne Haskins. Therefore, since Dwayne Haskins isn't the guy that he drafted, he's not going to have a lot of patience. Okay, Ron Rivera wants to win. He took this Washington job because he feels like Washington had the roster that fits what he likes out of a team. So he feels like he can win right now. Washington, if you ask Ron Rivera right now, do you think Washington can make it to the playoffs with this roster? He'll say, hell yeah, we can. So he doesn't have any time to wait for Dwayne Haskins to get things together. I understand Dwayne Haskins has been through several head coaches. Yeah, Jay Gruden got fired. You had to deal with an interim head coach. Okay, then you bring in Ron Rivera. So 3 different head coaches. Okay, but still at the end of the day, this is a league that's all about producing. And Dwayne Haskins simply wasn't producing enough for Ron Rivera. And Ron Rivera said, listen, I'm not going to wait on Dwayne Haskins anymore to learn anything or whatever. We have our opportunity to take control of this division, and we need to put in the guy who gives us the best chance of doing so. And that guy may be Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen has some familiarity with Ron Rivera in the past because they worked with each other with the Carolina Panthers. So Ron Rivera, Kyle Allen, good familiarity. Kyle Allen knows what Ron Rivera expects out of him, and he may, execute better than Dwayne Haskins. So, I mean, when you look at the Rams, and you look at this whole entire situation, you look at your chops right now because the Rams are a 7-point favorite. Now, they were in a dogfight with the New York Giants, surprisingly, because the Rams were a double-digit favorite heading into that game against the New York Giants. And early on, it looked like the Rams were going to run away with that game, okay? But then, I think the New York Giants started to, their defense played really well. And the Rams almost lost that game. Okay, if it wasn't for Daniel Jones being Daniel Jones forcing the ball, Daniel Jones just reminds me a lot of Jameis Winston. The Giants could have easily won that game against the LA Rams or at least tied it up. So, I mean, listen, The Rams win a dogfight, and you're facing a Washington football team right now that is reeling right now. Like, they're searching for answers. Like, they changed quarterbacks. The offensive line is terrible. They don't have any good weapons on offense aside from Terry McLaurin and halfback Antonio Gibson. So, I mean, for the Rams, you really like your chances of winning this game. And Washington's offense has been pretty lackluster. And I don't really think a quarterback change is going to help this offense out all that much. Because at the end of the day, I mean, the offensive line can only... I mean, Kyle Allen can only do so much. Now, Kyle Allen has a little bit more mobility than Dwayne Haskins. But at the end of the day, like, the wide receiving core isn't all that great. The offensive line isn't all that great. It's just so much that you have to overcome. And, I mean, what are you expecting now, Kyle Allen? Has to be your question in this game. If you're a Rams fan or if you're a Washington fan, what to expect out of Kyle Allen? Okay, me personally, as a guy who is in the middle, that's neutral, I'm not really expecting all that much out of Kyle Allen. It's not that I don't feel Kyle Allen is an upgrade from Dwayne Haskins. I'm just saying that I'm not really expecting all that much looking at supporting cast that he has around him. And you're looking at a Rams team that has one of the best defensive lines in the NFL from their play so far this season. So, I mean, another thing is, can Washington score more than 20 points? The decision to start Kyle Allen and bench Dwayne Haskins was motivated because Washington's offense hasn't scored more than 20 points since week 1. Ever since they scored 27 against the Philadelphia Eagles week 1, that's been the highest points they scored all this entire season. They haven't scored more than 20 points after that. This offense has been really hard to watch. Okay, so I mean, if you're Washington, you're looking for a spark. Can Kyle Allen give you that spark in this game against the LA Rams defense that is pretty good? So, I mean, this is going to be a really tough outing for Washington and Kyle Allen. And I want to see how Kyle Allen performs in this game against a really solid defense with the Rams. And can Washington stop the Rams' run game? I think that's going to be the most important thing, because another reason why that game at the New York Giants was so close for the LA Rams was because they didn't really have all that much success running the football. And if you want to beat the Rams, you know that the Rams are a team that's predicated on the run game. And when they get the run game going, they're able to get the play action game going. Just so much they can do. They use the run game to open up their offense. And that's why we saw the LA Rams struggle against the New York Giants last week, because the Giants were able to stop the run game, and the Rams weren't really able to get those play action looks that they like a lot. So, I mean, I'm still taking the Rams to win this game. I think they win this game 27-17 is my final score prediction in this game. At this point, I don't really think a quarterback change is really going to help Washington out that much, because when you look at how bad this offensive line has played, you also look at the fact that Washington still isn't really able to run the football all that much. So, I mean, you can't run the football. You got a lackluster offensive line. You don't really have a lot of talent at the receiving core. So, I mean, I don't really see how much improved this offense is going to be under Kyle Allen. Now, maybe I'm going to be wrong, because Kyle Allen does have some familiarity with Ron Rivera and the way he likes to run his offense. But you also got to remember that Kyle Allen turned the football over a lot when he was starting at quarterback for Carolina. So take that into consideration. So, I mean, I don't really see Kyle Allen as all that big of an upgrade. Like, pretty much, I think that Kyle Allen may be a better quarterback than Dwayne Haskins right now. He gives you a little bit more mobility at that quarterback spot. But all in all, I just don't think he's going to be all that much to give Washington the boost that they're looking for on offense. So I think the Rams win this game. 27-17 is my final score prediction. I'm taking the Rams.